In the previous episode, we discovered how Naina Sahni's burnt body was found at a restaurant Tandoor, co-owned by her alleged husband and Congress leader Shushil Sharma. The 29-year-old Naina Sahni, described by people as hearty, loving, full of life, ambitious, and yet a devoted partner to Shushil Sharma to the extent that she gave up on her own political career within the Congress to support his, and even quit on her dream of flying despite being a trained pilot. Shushil Sharma became a suspect almost as soon as Naina's body was discovered by two tenacious and dedicated beat cops who could smell the crime behind the smoke coming out of the restaurant lawn on a late monsoon night on July 2nd, 1995. At the end of the last episode, we saw Shushil surrendering to the police after 9 days of a nationwide manhunt and claiming he was innocent, that Naina's murder was a political conspiracy to end his political career. In the second and final episode of the Naina Sahni murder case, we will walk through the police investigation, the court proceedings, and how a man once awarded the death penalty is now out of jail on account of good behavior. I am Anviti Singh and this is NDTV Crime Files, Delhi. From reporters to police to the general public, everyone was baying for the blood of Shushil Sharma in 1995, or so it feels when I read the reports from back then. Look at the optics of the case. A woman's body is found burning in a restaurant tandoor in the national capital. A man who helped burn the body confesses to the police his partner, Congress leader Shushil Sharma, brought a dead body in the dead of the night and tried to get rid of the crime by burning the evidence. And who is the victim? The co-conspirator Keshav Kumar reveals that it's Naina Sahni, a former Congress leader and Shushil Sharma's wife or girlfriend, no one was sure which at the time. Journalist, professor and prison reform activist Vartika Nanda watched this case unfold in real time, reported every break, and even met Shushil Sharma during the trials. She tells us what really happened on that fateful night of July 2nd, 1995, the court proceedings, and how Shushil Sharma got rid of his death penalty. Vartika reveals what no one cared about in 1995 at first: domestic violence and a toxic relationship. Yes, domestic violence was absolutely absent from most of the discussions and debates and public outcry. Naina was killed by her husband, as the defense would put it, in a fit of rage and as a crime of passion. Misinformation about her alleged affair with Matloob Karim, also a Congress member, would reach people's living rooms via newspapers, TV discussions, and radio broadcast. But conspicuously absent was the trauma this woman probably went through while she was alive. Before the bullet, before the knife, before the tandoor. Now we've established that they were maybe either in a live-in relationship or a secret marriage. Shushil had his doubts about Matloob Karim. So, you spoke of Shushil was always doubtful or suspicious of Naina. Was there any particular person that, he had his suspicions about?
So Shushil was suspicious that in his absence, Naina is still in touch with Matloob Karim, and he did not like it.
And was there only Matloob who was under, let's say, Sushil's radar, or did he doubt Naina of just having multiple affairs?
What we know is that Shushil had asked his servant also to keep an eye on Naina, what she does, where she goes, how much time she spends over the phone, this and that. This is what was told in the initial investigation.
It had been building up for a while.
It was building up for a while, but his major suspicion was on Matloob Karim.
Now, we come to that day, 2nd July. What happened there? What does the investigation reveal about that?
So, according to the report, Shushil Sharma entered house. Naina was speaking to somebody over the phone. She disconnected the phone. Shushil Sharma was furious. They had a fight. And then Naina Sahni said that, I want to commit suicide. On which Shushil Sharma said, what rubbish? Why should you commit suicide? Then there were arguments again. After which, Shushil Sharma went inside his room, opened the cupboard, and took out a gun which he possessed, and he shot Naina Sahni. 2 bullets in her head and 1 in the neck, and Naina Sahni died on the spot. This is what the investigations revealed. Meanwhile, before this, Naina had also written a letter of suicide, saying that she wants to commit this, she's committing this suicide. And in that note, she also had written that she would like Shushil Sharma to perform her last rites.
Did Naina actually write it, or?
This is what the police investigation report said. Now look at the tragedy. Naina wrote a letter of suicide, saying that she's committing suicide and she wants Shushil Sharma to perform the last rites. And what happened? What happened the other moment? Shushil Sharma himself killed her.
It's very hard to digest, because I'm kind of finding it hard to believe that she wrote a suicide note at the same time the husband was, trying to get rid of her. So have the police found any handwriting analysis or anything like that?
The police at that time said yes, there was a letter which was written by her. So after killing Naina Sahni, obviously Shushil Sharma was perturbed himself. He did not know what to do, because in any case we will have to also admit the fact that he was not a habitual killer. This happened at the spur of the moment. This was circumstantial. He did not know what to do. So he took his body. Ashok Yatri Niwas was run by Indian Tourism Development Corporation, ITDC. And they had entered a license agreement with Shushil Sharma and others for a restaurant called Bagia Barbecue. Now he reached there in his Maruti car. He chopped the body into several pieces and dumped it in the tandoor. The execution of the tandoor burning was carried out with the help of his co-accused, Keshav Kumar, who was the restaurant employee. Later, the same person, upon being interrogated by the police, claimed that he was burning old Congress banners. Now, just see the gravity of this case. There's a dead body of the person with whom he was living for a long time. He killed her, and instead of informing the police or whatever, he chopped his body into several pieces. And then the entire body he was trying to put inside the tandoor.
Sure. Now let's jump a few days then. Now Shushil has been caught from Bengaluru, right? And he's of course crying foul. He has not done this crime. Anyone would. They wouldn't just go to the police and say, "Haan, maine kiya hai." So he's brought back to Delhi. What happens in the interrogation room then?
See, the point is, first of all, when the crime was committed, it is clear that Shushil went into hiding. He was untraceable for almost 8 days.
9th day he was caught.
9th day he was caught. Till that time, there was no communication from his side. When he was caught, then the answers were changing every now and then. And he was spinning several stories, out of which one you said, rightly you said, that he was saying that this is a political conspiracy. The second thing was that he also said in the court that he was over-possessive. This is also, he said.
He accepted that.
He accepted that. And thirdly, he said it was by mistake. But the point is, why would court like to have a softer view on a person who has done this kind of a brutal murder?
He chopped her into pieces. If he had shot her by mistake, let's say, okay, fine, you shot your wife who loved you by mistake.
Yes.
Why would you? Okay, this is very graphic. But when he went to the Bagia, where is that? This one. When he went to Bagia barbecue, there he ordered that all the customers be removed, the restaurant immediately be shut down. Then in order to fit Naina into the tandoor, he either chops her while she's alive, but unconscious, or while she's already dead. The autopsy report is not clear on that. And to get her to burn faster, he first gets ghee from the kitchen. They run out of ghee. Then he sends his employee/partner back in to get more ghee, which they've run out of. So he gets some butter. It's a half kilo brick of butter. Then he slathers that butter on Naina's body to ensure that she burns faster. He made a mistake by shooting her. I accept that, fine. Who doesn't accidentally shoot their spouse by mistake? Such a common thing. But all of the steps that he took after, how do we justify that as a crime of passion?
Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. In the court of law, when the investigation is on, one has to look at all the dimensions and the process through which a crime has been committed. One can understand that this happened at the spur of the moment. But what happened after that was more gruesome than what happened at the scene of crime. This is one. Secondly, after killing her, when he reaches Bagia restaurant, it took a lot of time in handling the body. The way ghee and butter was arranged, the way banners were arranged, and then the tandoor, and then chopping of the body, and then her intestines were also coming out of her body. When these two constables reached the spot, they could see that intestines were peeking out. Now just imagine the pain, the gruesome way of handling the body. If she was alive, just imagine the pain. If she was half alive even then, and even if she was dead, how can you treat a human body like this?
Your wife, no less.
Wife, no less. And what was the crime? Crime was she was asking for a proper wedding. The point is that then why would the law be softer on you? When he was pleading in the court and he was saying that media trial is playing a negative role on this case. Secondly, that media is hellbound against him. Thirdly, Delhi police is hellbound against him. This is what he all.
So he said all this in the court while defending himself.
Yes. And because of this, and because of his political rivalry, political jealousies, he is not able to get justice. But the point is, I would certainly like to say, thankfully, the judges took a firm ground on this. Media did not lose any day, any single day, in covering this crime when this happened. Because of the media intervention, the 9th day, finally, he was caught. If there was no media, this would not have happened. This is what I feel.
Media trials can be a double-edged sword. As we have seen in so many cases, from Arushi Talwar's parents to Riya Chakrabarti in Sushant Singh Rajput's suicide case to Aryan Khan in an alleged drug case, media trials happened. The crimes became a nightly entertainment program as thousands tuned into their favorite TV channel or YouTube conspiracy theorists to hunt down the alleged criminals, even if the law finds them innocent ultimately. But when private TV news media was still in its infancy, the single-minded focus on the sensational Naina Sahni murder case was just the push that was needed to ensure that this famous, well-connected politician does not simply vanish, that he gets what he deserves, that he would be brought to justice. And so he was arrested. But the journey after the arrest was equally brutal for Naina's well-wishers. Shushil never showed remorse. He looked at the media persons defiantly and seemed almost secure about his convictions.
after that, now when the hearing started, I used to see and then meet Shushil Sharma at Patiala House Courts. I was working with NDTV at that time, and this was not 95, later on when I joined NDTV, 96. Yes, so the year when I used to meet him was between 97 to 2000, 2001. And I remember him always wearing white kurta pajama, sometimes waving his hand to us. He recognized some of us. He hardly said anything. But at the same time, yes, he did not appear to be apologetic of what he has done at that time.
He looked very confident and just...
He looked confident. He was quite confident maybe that, he'll get some support.
Because he was a politician.
Because he was a politician, and because he also thought that, after a while, media will also stop pursuing the case. But he did not realize one thing, that actually media was coming up. Private media was opening its wings. Journalists were watching this story very carefully, and so was the public. And that is how, when the case reached the courts also had to take a very firm decision. Now herein, what Shushil Sharma felt, and the term that I would like to use it here particularly, is media trial.
Media trial, we can say it was one of the first media trials of the country.
Yes, absolutely. And when we use this term, we generally feel that media trial is something which is dirty, which is problematic.
It can impact the courts negatively.
Sometimes it can impact the procedures. Sometimes it can impact the trial, and sometimes it could be a good, positive way of getting the trial done in a stipulated time period. Now, in this particular case, while Shushil Sharma felt that the entire media is against him, and he also said somewhere that there's a parallel public trial which is going against him, thereby declaring him guilty of the charge of the murder of Naina Sahni. So these are a couple of things which he said on record. But if we look at it very carefully, it was because of the media that the case did not lose attention. Judges also knew that this case has to be given proper attention, and the culprit should be sent behind.
Right. And 1995 to 99, it was anyway a very turbulent time in Indian politics. Governments were forming and then falling apart. And I think the confidence that Shushil had about his political backing could not work out in that scenario anyway. But coming back to the politics of Shushil Sharma, I was going through an old India Today magazine article from 1995 where they profiled Mr. Sharma. It noted that Shushil was called Shushil Chakumar Sharma colloquially within the youth Congress leaders, because he used to stab the posters of opposing leaders या उसके competition में कोई खड़ा है कहीं जब वो student politics में है and all that. So he used to stab political leaders' posters, not literally. And he was so brazen and violent that he threatened to get Rajiv Gandhi removed from office. And that Rajiv Gandhi himself wanted Shushil to not be a part of Congress anymore. But he somehow was a survivor in the political game, and he survived. I know that the court proceedings went something like, and the police investigation went something like, this was a crime of passion. It happened in the heat of the moment. Shushil was not a bad man. He had just done a bad thing. But why did not the court look at these background things, that he always had a violent nature?
There are a couple of things. Number one, he was a very confident person. He had studied in Delhi University. He was a good student. He had a promising career in front of him. He was at that time in a right party at the right time. And if things had gone, if things had unfolded in a proper manner, maybe he had a flourishing career ahead of him. More so with Naina Sahni as a partner. This did not happen. Now your question is very right, that he was violent. And the past indicated that. But the thing is, in a country like India, generally we look at things when something happens. Till that time, we're quite mum. If he was a violent worker, if he was behaving aggressively, don't you think the party should have taken some action then and there? Or maybe somebody should have counseled him, told him. This did not happen. Number two, if you remember, 2005, when we started talking about Domestic Violence Act. Before that, domestic violence was never taken seriously. This is true that he killed her on that particular day, but it is also equally true that Naina Sahni was in a turbulent marriage and she was facing domestic violence for a longer time. Nobody took domestic violence seriously in those years. That is also, and sadly even now. But now at least we know there's something called a Domestic Violence Act. Back then, not many people even knew about it. Not many people took it seriously at all.
I have a personal story related to this. So I was living in CR Park at that time, and there was this couple on the ground floor of the building, and they were always fighting. And by fighting, I mean the husband was very violent. The woman just cried. And there were, often noises from the house, but one night they were beating noises. Like I could sense that he was hitting the woman with either a broom or a stick or something like that. So immediately dialed up the police. I was standing in my balcony at that time when I dialed the police, and that was my mistake. Because then my next neighbor heard it. He warned that man on the ground floor, "Jaldi se aawazein band kar do, police aane wali hai." And then that is exactly what happened. Police arrived. Police did their job. They came. And they called me back like, "Hey, you had filed this complaint, but we don't hear anything. You said the noises were so loud." And like, yeah, they were. They were just like until 3-4 minutes ago. And then I had to convince them to go. They knocked on the door, but no one answered on that door, I think. So they assumed that, sab log so rahe hain ghar ke andar, and I heard someone's TV or something. And this is 2016 exactly. So even in 2016, the neighbor warned his neighbor friend that, you can keep hitting your wife, but just do it after the police leaves.
Yeah. And that is acceptable.
Yeah.
Quite acceptable.
Yeah. Instead of that neighbor, maybe backing me up to the police that this is happening, that woman's life might be in danger. Because the noises were coming in every day. And then the police just left. And I'm sure if I called again, they would think that I was lying. I mean, they can't do anything without proof, so I'm not even going to blame the police here. It was the neighbors who protected that violent neighbor. And if something were to happen to that woman, it would be on all of their souls. But anyway, sorry.
So that's what I'm trying to say is that, yes, it is circumstantial, but at the same time, we have to also keep in mind that there was history behind it. So there was history in his office, there was history at home.
The neighbors had heard him hitting the wife.
The neighbors would have certainly.
There is, in a police testimony, in an old article from 1997, in fact, that the neighbors had heard, this is, let me just confirm the date. Yeah, it was from a 1997 article that the neighbors had heard. There were often noises of violence from the house.
And it is also being said, it was said in one of the reports, and Naina Sahni had also shared the same thing with a couple of close people in his family. But then...
in his family or her family?
In her family.
So we spoke about, Sushil's nature and everything. Then again, I want to come back to the court. So there are reports, maybe you can tell me if they were confirmed or not, that, Naina was actually planning to leave Sushil, but you say that she was planning to just, leave the earth, leave her life behind. So is it true that she was planning to go to Australia, and that is how Sushil got in a fit of rage? He killed her. Is that a true report or not?
This is another theory which was floated at that time. But the major part of this is that Naina wanted to leave only because of the reason that Sushil was not accepting her publicly. That was the only thing. Otherwise, she did not want to leave him. And just look at the situation years ago. You know, in those years, if somebody was in a live-in kind of a relationship, it was not prevalent in those years. She had left everything, she was living with him. And she did not want to go and live with somebody else because she had thought that this is the place, this is the person with whom she would like to spend her life. Things started taking a bad shape only when Shushil Sharma started ignoring the fact and the request that they should come out and announce the marriage publicly. This was the turning point in their relationship, and that is how it was being said that Naina wanted to leave India, wanted to stay in Australia. That is being said, but at the same time, this is also true. She would not have even said so if Shushil Sharma had come forward and announced the marriage public.
Let's talk a little bit about Naina. So Naina, from what I've read about her, was an extremely ambitious woman. And I want to clarify just like, you know, how we have these stereotypes in media, like films and TV shows and books and whatnot, that only weak women who are very docile can fall victim to domestic violence. Now, Naina, from all accounts, was not submissive. She was extremely dominant. And of course, to be a woman politician in the national capital in those days, she had to be a very strong-willed woman. What do we know about her as a person?
Being ambitious is not bad. And ambitious could have several meanings, especially when it is related to women. We feel ambitious is somebody who wants to get everything at any cost. Or maybe ambitious is somebody who doesn't care about her family but her career. Herein the situation was a little different. Yes, she was an educated, confident person. But at the same time, she was a woman who wanted to have her womanhood, who wanted to have a proper marriage. That's it. If she had been so ambitious politically, then maybe she would not have agreed to live with Shushil in a secret wedding for such a long time. Secondly, she was supporting Shushil. She was not at the forefront. Shushil was at the forefront. She was at home. For a longer time, she was at home.
She was building things for him.
She was building things. She was also helping him out. And she did not walk out of the marriage. So, even if she was ambitious, she was not the one who wanted to fulfill her ambitions and ignore her marriage. On the contrary, she wanted to have a strong wedding first and then her career. This is what my understanding goes about Naina. And the second thing is, when you say, how can an educated person be a victim of domestic violence? Let me tell you, if you go to any police station across India, more so in Delhi, you will find that most of the women who come to file cases or register a complaint or just to raise a concern to a police station are generally not the upper class or the educated class. And there's a reason behind it. The reason is stigma, nothing else. They are equal sufferers. In fact, they suffer more than the other strata of the society that we see. But those who are educated, those who are well known, those who are maybe in media, maybe in police, maybe in all those domains which are considered to be very high profile, those women, when they suffer, they try not to go to a thana and say that they are suffering from domestic violence, because they feel that the moment they will say, people will not believe it. Instead, they will feel that, you are sitting in this powerful position. How can you be a sufferer?
That's very true. I feel that tracks very logically, because we see this all the time that, there's so many powerful women around us growing up. They could be either professionally very powerful or just, their personality is very powerful. But we do know they have been in bad relationships and they've never went against that bad relationship. I think the same case tracks for Naina Sahni as well, because from everything that I've read and every person I've spoken to, it sounds like she was very devoted to Shushil Sharma. to agree to, put her career on the back burner so his can thrive. Willing to die, as you mentioned, there was a suicide note. So wherever Sushil's jealousies or doubts were coming from, I'm sure he has his own reasonings for them. But I want to know a very technical, logical answer from you. There was an article where a police person, a police source told this journalist that the way Shushil is turning the case around, this is in the early weeks of his arrest, like he's been arrested and, police are still talking to him. He says things like it's a political conspiracy because he's such an important person, so there is some opposition party person who's trying to frame him. This is the first excuse he comes up with. But then that is broken immediately. So then when he finally comes to terms with the fact that it was his hands that killed Naina, he hammered down really hard on the point that it was a crime of passion, it was heat of the moment, it was not a cold-blooded murder, it was not planned, it was something that he committed by mistake. Mistake was a word that was used a lot. When we go to the court with a case like this, how important do these words become, like mistake, cold-blooded, culpable homicide and manslaughter? Because the police says that Sushil did everything in his power to ensure this was a manslaughter and not a homicide. Can you please explain to me what the difference is basically?
In the court of law, when the investigation is on, one has to look at all the dimensions and the process through which a crime has been committed. One can understand that this happened at the spur of the moment. But what happened after that was more gruesome than what happened at the scene of crime. This is one. Secondly, after killing her, when he reaches Bagya restaurant, it took a lot of time in handling the body. The way ghee and butter was arranged, the way banners were arranged, and then the tandoor, and then chopping of the body, and then her intestines were also coming out of her body. When these two constables reached the spot, they could see that intestines were peeking out. Now just imagine the pain, the gruesome way of handling the body. If she was alive, just imagine the pain. If she was half alive even then, and even if she was dead, how can you treat a human body like this?
Your wife, no less.
Wife, no less. And what was the crime? Crime was she was asking for a proper wedding. The point is that then why would the law be softer on you? When he was pleading in the court and he was saying that media trial is playing a negative role on this case. Secondly, that media is hellbound against him. Thirdly, Delhi police is hellbound against him. This is what he all.
So he said all this in the court while defending himself.
Yes. And because of this and because of his political rivalry, political jealousies, he is not able to get justice. But the point is, I would certainly like to say, thankfully, the judges took a firm ground on this. Media did not lose any day, any single day, in covering this crime when this happened. Because of the media intervention, the 9th day, finally, he was caught. If there was no media, this would not have happened. This is what I feel.
As we have discovered in the previous and this episode, the bullet wounds, the meticulous planning for Naina's disposal, the way these religious alibis were arranged, and the gruesome, horrific way Naina was disposed of made one thing clear. This was a well-planned murder, even if the shooting, the inciting incident, happened in the heat of the moment. And so, on November 7th, 2003, Shushil Sharma was awarded the death penalty for the murder of his partner, Naina Sahni. But this is not the end of the story. We have a long way to go yet. He had already been incarcerated since 1995 just a few days after the case was first discovered. And he wasn't having the best time inside of Tihar jail at first. But being the politician that he was, he soon turned it around and made a name for himself inside the prison.
Yeah, he reached jail in 95 only. 10 July 95 he was arrested, right? And by 95 end, I think he reached jail. So I was talking about what happened to him. He was uncomfortable to see the situation. He shared with his other inmates, how will I survive? And they told him that this is part of the prison life. The first night he did not want to sleep there because obviously where he was sleeping, the toilet was next to that. It was very difficult for him to face his family. In a prison, there's always a facility for a mulaqat. Your family members can come and meet you as per the rule of the jail. Now in India, jail is a state subject. Every state has different rules. In Tihar also, we go by the Delhi jail manual. So according to that manual, times and days were fixed when family could come. It was difficult for him to face his family. And he also said that I started getting used to the jail slowly and slowly. For him, jail time was a difficult time because we should also understand jail time is also an empty time. How would you fill up your space? What would you do in the jail? And he felt that this trial is no less than death. Every day was kind of a death for him. Some of the inmates came to his rescue. He met another inmate in the jail who was arrested on the charges of dowry death. And this was the inmate who was like a turning point in his life because this person told him that why don't you start reading religious scriptures from now on. And I know of many inmates. I would not name them, but I know some of them who were considered to be very big names, and when they reached jail, how they actually started reading religious scriptures. Shushil was one of them.
So this religious thing started inside the jail?
Inside the jail. So there are two things he started in the jail. For a long time, he went on reading religious scriptures. Then another inmate once told him that why don't you start teaching inmates? Just imagine the year, 96, 97, 98. We are all sitting in NDTV. We are sitting in NDTV office. Just remember, in 96, 97, even this office was also going through a technological change. We were getting used to computers, laptops, and mobile phones. This person who entered jail, transition was happening outside. The jail did not have computers at that time. The jail was not well equipped at that time. You know, what I'm saying is that people generally don't realize jail life is very different from outside. So Shushil was encouraged, motivated by fellow inmates that why don't you start teaching inmates something about related to computers. This is what he took up.
Shushil being well educated and everything and rich sort of, so he had access to technology.
Yes, and he started teaching inmates, and then this is the point where he was then started seen as a person who was helping others. Because till that time, he was reading religious scriptures, which meant he is getting into intra-communication. Now herein, when he started helping them out, the entire way of communication changed. And there was interpersonal communication, and there was kind of two-way communication. This changed his reputation in the prison.
Okay, so this is still when he was sentenced to death. He had challenged his conviction though in the courts while he was in Tihar. What happened during that challenge?
See, I would say...
Because death penalty obviously did not come with a date. It was just that he's been sentenced to death. So some years later, he challenged.
I would like to dissect Shushil Sharma's life in jail into 3 parts. First part, entering into the jail and starting reading religious scriptures and also challenging his death penalty. This is the first phase that you are talking about. The second phase is self-realization, when he felt what he did to Naina and also to her parents, it was wrong. He started getting apologetic. And he also mentioned at one place, saying that, I don't know how I will face her parents. In the jail itself, he came to know that Naina's parents are no more. He was sad at that time. He said that he was sad. 2015, when he went out on parole, he avoided contacting his neighbors. He did not know how to face them. This was the second phase in his life when he started teaching computers to the inmates.
How long was he out on parole for?
It was according to the rules. Yeah. No, the parole is given to inmates. It is the right of an inmate if the conduct is good. So he was given that parole. And the third phase in his life was, which again people have not discussed or known about it much, was his complete acceptance of what is going to happen to him. His death sentence was converted into a life imprisonment. He was serving that life imprisonment. He had accepted jail life. And towards the end of his imprisonment, he was shifted to semi-open jail, where I saw him once.
What is a semi-open jail?
Semi-open jail is a space wherein the inmate, a convicted inmate, who has spent long inning in the jail, has to be released after a stipulated time, is given a space within the jail premises. He can go out every day, come back.
Go out as in out of the jail or just his...
Out of the jail. Semi-open jail is like a residential complex. So, but within the jail.
So he's not locked behind bars 24 hours.
It is like you are leading almost a regular, normal life.
Can we call it like a house arrest but in a residential?
You can say that, but technically speaking, it is semi-open. In Delhi, we do not have an open jail. In several states across India, we have open jails. But in Delhi, we have a semi-open jail.
What is an open jail?
Open jail is absolutely open, where, you know, you are residing with your family. The family lives with you. You can do whatever you want to do with the only condition that you will come back and you will not commit any other crime till the, because this is the last phase of your imprisonment. The purpose behind this is to give inmate a chance to associate with the society, reintegrate with the society, so that he doesn't feel absolutely, helpless once he's released.
Been behind bar for like 20 years and then outside world can be...
It's kind of bridging a gap between a barred life and a normal life. So he was in semi-open jail, and I remember there was this Shiv Shakti statue which was built in semi-open jail, and he was the one who was actually taking the lead on that this should be built here, this should be kept here. And at that time also he was completely into reading scriptures. He was a transformed man, quite a transformed man. By the time he released from jail, he was a changed Shushil Sharma. Person who had accepted his life, accepted his crime, his mistakes, brutal murder, apologetic towards Naina Sahni, equally apologetic towards her parents.
So like you said earlier, like during the early phases of the trial, he would go to the courts and be very confident and brash and brazen and did not look apologetic at all for what he had done.
Yeah, at that time.
But now after 23 years in jail, you believe that he looked like a change?
I look at Shushil Sharma as a learning case study. And that is how I feel that students of journalism and all across, those who want to learn spirituality, those who want to learn what crime and punishment is about, they must read and know what Shushil Sharma case was. At Delhi University and in several other universities also, we have this paper, Media Ethics and Law.
I had that in my college, yes. Shakil Akhtar taught me from PTI.
So this is a paper which is a mandatory, a core paper. And we have several case studies in this paper. One is Shushil Sharma, the other one is Ayushi Talwar case. Fortunately, unfortunately, I covered them from very close quarters. And I feel that these are such case studies which are very, very intense.
I think that you mentioned earlier how Shushil Sharma case media trial had a positive impact. I think Ayushi Talwar would fall on the opposite spectrum of that.
Absolutely. I would like to mention that I used to meet Talwars almost every weekend in Dasna jail. That was the time when I was working on a book titled Tinka Tinka Dasna. The book was about people who are on life imprisonment and how they try to accept jail life. One particular day when I met Dr. Talwar, I cannot imagine what kind of experience.
Dr. Talwar, you mean Nupur Talwar?
Dr. Nupur Talwar. Both of them actually, they were, people thought they are in the same barrack and they must be having a good time. It was not like that. So Dr. Rajesh Talwar was in the men's section, Dr. Nupur Talwar, women's section. And they had a dental clinic over there. And they used to serve inmates every day. And not only inmates, but the jail staff also. So one particular day, somehow it happened to me and I asked her, can I take your interview? And I think that is perhaps even now the only interview which was taken inside the jail with proper permissions and everything. And I promised them I will not release it unless you are released from here. And I told the jail authorities also. They trusted me, I trusted them. The interview was taken and it was released, can you believe? After 3 years they were released. When they were released, then I asked them, can I release the interview still on YouTube? A lot of people have seen that interview. In that interview, I asked Dr. Nupur Talwar about media trial. How media trial impacted you. That was a different case. In that case, there was a lot of character assassination.
Lots.
For the daughter, about the parents, and of their lifestyle. And I would feel that rightly so. Information and Broadcasting Ministry had to intervene in that particular case, telling some of the media houses very, very clearly that look, what you're doing is not acceptable. Again, a good case study for students of journalism and for many others. Because we generally feel as journalists, you can do anything, you can write anything. That is not the case. Because see, whatever you do, if it is not correct, it will get recorded. And maybe समय कुछ नहीं भूलता, समय लिख लेता है. आपने गलत किया, समय लिख लेगा. और आपने सही किया, वो भी समय लिख लेगा. इसलिए मुझे लगता है both the cases are two different cases. But again, very, very powerful cases as far as media trial is concerned.
I absolutely have to agree. So Shushil Sharma was released in, coming back to Shushil Sharma and Naina Sahni, you mentioned that he had a fear about how he would face Naina's family. I think we did not speak about that. What kind of a family did Naina grow up in?
And the jail should be a place which should give a platform to the inmate for transformation. And I'm really happy, satisfied that some of the jails have tried doing so beautifully.
That's definitely a good perspective to have. Now, that's a very new perspective for me, honestly. So I'll have to also think about it a lot. But since you said he was a changed person, and during the court challenging, he said about wanting to live with the family. Do we know where Shushil Sharma is in life today? I'm not asking for his location, but yeah, where is he?
He's in Delhi. He stays with his family. Most of the time, he spends with his father. When he was released, I was told that his father had come to receive him. After that, for many days, he was not meeting anybody. Even now, he's very, very low profile. Congress has cut all the contacts with him. They did it then and there only when he was caught. All these years, he had nothing to do with any political party. I have been told that even now, he's spending his time in reading religious scriptures. Even now, he is apologetic of what he has done. For him, he still looks at jail as a place which has given him the opportunity to completely transform himself. I do not think he has any grudges against the prison. The only grudge he has is against himself of what he did to Naina. If he had not done so, he would have been at some other place. But whatever happened, even then, after reaching the prison, he came out as a different Shushil Sharma. After reaching prison, he started rewriting his life, re-looking at his life, making a complete change in his life. And when he came out, he was a different Shushil Sharma.
It's definitely an interesting perspective to have. That 23 years, yes, of course, it's such a long time, 23 years. So it is believable that someone might have changed during that period of time. But it still remains that Naina Sahni is no longer here. He has done a lot of good in the prison, for sure. He has helped so many people in the prison. But Naina is still not here. She can never be a political leader. She can never be a pilot. I learned that she had, took some flying lessons and received a pilot's license. She'll never get that wedding that she wanted so desperately. She'll never get to move to Australia. So that is also something that I can't negotiate with.
He could not go scot-free.
Yeah, of course, the court decided to give him the death penalty. It was only after so many years, 15 years to be precise, that they decided it would be life in prison, and then that he can finally go out in the world.
Absolutely. So if we look at both these personalities, one could not save her life, she was killed, and the other one went through another turmoil after her after her death, after her killing. So one lost her life, and the other one had a complete change in his life after the murder. So both of them had an abnormal life, I would say. And in that abnormality, what we today see is a person who could not achieve anything materialistically in his life. And he took a lot of time to be apologetic of what he has done. But at the same time, I also feel very bad for Naina Sahni's parents, equally bad for Shushil Sharma's parents.
Yes, definitely. To have your son go, to know that your son was capable of something like that would definitely challenge a parent's heart and their minds. I'm sure they suffered quite a lot more than him, in fact. I mean, he was in prison, definitely. But the parents would not have had an easy time. They must have been ostracized by so many people. They must have had to hear so many things. Definitely, at the end, no one just got to live their lives because of this one crime. There were two entire families. It ended there, right? The family's normal lives ended on the night of 2nd July 1995 when Shushil shot that gun. And so ends the story of Naina Sahni. I think we can all agree that prison reform is really important, that giving people a second chance can also be equally important. And there is no denying that the work Shushil Sharma did for people inside the prison was actually helpful. He did teach a lot of things to people. He either taught them to be self-dependent by teaching them computers, or gave them some inner peace by teaching them spirituality. But two things can be true at once. His quote-unquote good nature may have helped many, but he destroyed a life. A life that was dedicated to him. Naina Sahni was killed. The unfairness of the act can never be justified by the things he did after the murder. But law gives everyone a chance to redeem themselves. This was NDTV Singh with the Naina Sahni murder case, or colloquially known as the Tandoor Hatya Kand or the Tandoor murder case, on NDTV Crime Files, Delhi. I thank you for being with me on this journey.